Hi, this video comes from the UC Davis Scope Plant Breeding Program, and it will be a guide on how to do pepper crossing. The first thing you want to do before you start any of the crossing process is take 70% isopropyl alcohol and sanitize all of your tools. So that means the electric toothbrush, if you're using it, the marker, the tweezers here, and your hands. Don't forget your hands. The first step is to identify a mature male flower. You want white leaves and a yellow-white pollen. The one pictured here is actually too old. As you can see, it's starting to droop a little bit. The second step is to remove the good male flowers that you picked and set aside. And don't forget to record the line numbers of the male flowers. So here I found a few good flowers on this plant, and I'm just picking them off with some tweezers. Remember that we sanitized the tweezers and our hands earlier. That's important to not get any cross-contamination. And here's a close-up. You can see the male anther inside the flower, and that'll be important for the crossing process. And don't forget to record the line number of the plant as well. The third step is to find suitable female flower buds. So the flower buds should be about a day away from opening, but not quite open yet. This picture is an example of a good flower bud. This is an example of an okay flower bud. And this flower bud is not ready yet. You can see that the outer petals are still quite green and it's not developed enough. The fourth step is to remove the petals and the stamen from the bud. So here I am taking tweezers and removing the petals of the flower bud. Underneath the petals is a bluish area called the stamen, and the stamen is what we really want to remove. So make sure you remove the stamen as well. This process is called emasculation. If you see that the stamen on your flower bud are shedding any pollen as you pull them back, you'll want to stop and pick a new flower bud. We do not want this flower to self-pollinate because that will defeat the whole purpose of pepper crossing. Be careful not to damage the inside of the flower bud though. The fifth and final step is to rub the male anther onto the female stigma. Take one of the flowers that you previously cut and rub the anther directly onto the flower bud. Specifically, you want to rub the anther onto the stigma of the flower bud. You want to make sure that pollen from the anther is getting onto the stigma. An electric toothbrush could help you shake the pollen out, but you'll want to be careful where the pollen falls. This is how we write the crossing tag label at Scope. It's the female line, then the male line, then the date, and the crosser initials. Once you have your label written out, you can then tie it pretty close to where you did the crossing. Once it's tied onto the plant, now all you have to do is wait and see how the crossing turns out. Thanks for watching this video and happy crossing!